Today we're looking at something that I am very excited to see. This is the Mobile Pixels Duex Pro portable laptop monitor. And there's a few different varieties of laptop monitor floating around on Amazon that you'll see, usually USB-C or USB powered devices with HDMI. This is a straight USB implementation to the panel. Part of the reason I'm so excited to see this particular design is it does have this mounting mechanism that's shown on the packaging to secure it to the back of a laptop. I have not seen a design like that shipping in a laptop since about 2009-2010 with the ThinkPad 701DS. That was a 17-inch unit that had a 7-inch secondary screen that could be slid out to hold a variety of toolbars. It was aimed at professional users. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and open up the Duex Pro and see what's included in the package. Alright, so we've got an installation guide printed into the box. Excellent reuse of the packaging material. The metal plates are bigger than the magnets. Make sure they're covered. Place the metal plates over the magnets. Secure it to your laptop. There's a note about trying to match the right edge of the Duex with one screw exposed past the edge of the laptop, which is the alignment that you see shown on the package. To remove it, slide the Duex off. The magnets do not pull. I imagine they'd be concerned about damaging it. Left-hand orientation only works with 13 to 13.3 laptops, or laptops that would accommodate it on both sides. That makes sense. There's a limitation of if it's hanging past on one side, how reversible it's going to be. And there's also in these big red letters a note about driver installation. So, take a look through the product information. Screen, USB, brightness are magnetic plates, so brightness is controlled in hardware. Quick driver installation, go to their website or display link. Okay. That means that even if you're using USB-C, this is not a straight display port or HDMI display. This display is using a driver that is going to compress video, send it over the USB link, and then be decompressed on the other side by the display link chip that's embedded in the display. We've got a detailed installation. Honestly, for the things that a secondary screen on the laptop would be installed with, or would be used for, I should say. And it looks like we've got some removal instructions. The use of a display link device is suboptimal. However, it lets them hit a much wider variety of laptops. Up until recently, USB-C and much more USB-C with any kind of video out wasn't super common. And DisplayLink, a nice piece of plastic, although not ideal, is relatively common and functional at work. I do work in IT. There's our ports on this side. Let's see if the focus will catch up with them. We use tons of DisplayLink docks to attach to laptops at people's desks, and they've got keyboards, video, or more than one monitor, mice, network adapters, all that kind of stuff built in. There's our magnets. So this would be arranged like that normally, and then it would just kind of slide out there saying. So let's see here. Yep. Alright, that takes a little bit of force, although I'm sure it's not as bad once it's in a laptop. And then we have our pivot, a full 270 degrees. Included in the package, we also have what appears to be a large set of these magnetic pucks. They say on the website that there are enough, oh, these are stuck in here, included for 3 laptops, and you can order more. There doesn't appear to be anything super special about these. They just look like run-of-the-mill metal, run-of-the-mill steel, I should say. Fairly strong magnets built in here. So that should be very secure. And we've got some 3M VHB securing those. And then we've got 2 cables. We have a right angle USB-C to USB-C cable. And we have a right angle USB-C to USB-A cable. Clearly, based on the C to A, the right angle adapter is meant to plug into the panel. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get 4 of these and get the rest of this out of the way. Get that over there. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this in. And I'm going to go ahead and put 4 magnets on it, or I should say 4 metal plates. And make sure that all my magnets are secured. So we're going to align it to the laptop, and we're going to align it to the laptop with this side where the port is as our overhang, and as a laptop we have a 14-inch Lenovo ThinkPad T440. Nothing super special about this laptop. It's a relatively run-of-the-mill enterprise laptop. We've got a USB port on either side, which means that it will potentially be reversible. And, you know, a typical selection of outputs. VG on one side, DisplayPort on the other. No USB-C included in this one. It's a little bit older. Gen 4 Core i5. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and line those up, and then we're going to peel the stick portion off of these. And doing that, I'm going to comment that this is relatively thick. When looked at compared to something like a tablet. This is thicker than an iPad Pro. This is thicker than some of your smaller Android tablets, but it's not super thick compared to my ThinkPad. Some of the thinner laptops, like a MacBook Air or an X Series ThinkPad or some of Dell's XPS line, it is going to come close to increasing the thickness of the laptop. Not quite twofold. But if you're the kind of person who's going to want a second screen on your laptop, alright, and it says to leave the screw overhanging, so we're going to leave it just like that. The extra thickness is not going to be a huge problem. Alright, so that's on. We're going to go ahead and just open this, and it looks like it doesn't stop the lid from opening to a normal height. See, it looks... I see. So that one didn't stick. Ugh. Alright. Put that out of the way. We'll open this up. Go ahead and wake our laptop up. I see that there's a little bit of wiggle to it when the laptop moves, but not enough that when we're on a table, it should be a substantial issue. in. We're gonna just go to our desktop. I very likely have the display link drivers already installed, since I mentioned that I do work with display link devices regularly. Alright, so let's get a look at that. We can see the panel powered on. This appears to be an IPS panel. I'm not seeing any major viewing angle problems. And okay, so we don't have display link drivers. I'm going to go ahead and grab those, and those shouldn't take super long to get. It's just displaylink.com. And I'm just going to grab the latest build for Windows 10. The beauty of using the DisplayLink drivers is that any USB 3 equipped system, which means laptops going back to the first generation i7 chips, and potentially some of the very later Core 2 Duo systems, although not many, are going to work with this. As long as there's a USB 3 port, be it running Windows, be it running Linux, be it running OS X, this is going to work. DisplayLink devices also are supposed to work with Android or Chrome OS devices. I have not had a chance to test one with a Chrome box. There we go. DisplayLink installation is complete. We're going to just go ahead and unplug it. Plug it back in. Well, that is interesting. We're going to go ahead and restart really quick. So there's no power switch on the side of this while we're restarting, because it's been a few weeks since I restarted my laptop. Let's go ahead and peel this off. I will say, oh, apparently I was just impatient. Lo and behold, they both say restarting, so I just needed to give the DisplayLink drivers a minute to finish initializing. I will say, looking at the included 1366 by 768 panel on my older T440, and this panel, this is already a brighter, nicer looking screen. I can adjust the brightness a little bit. The color seems deeper. There's some more color depth to it, and we'll go ahead and just fold this flat like that. Not inherently the ideal panel if you fold your computer flat like that regularly. However, not a lot of systems do, and that's unique to Lenovo's hinge here. We're going to center this a little bit better. Right, here we are. Go ahead and sign in. Alright, and there we go. And it looks like by default, Windows has configured everything for mirroring, which is not what we want to see. we want to go ahead and change this to extend. And I'm having a hard time seeing my laptop screen at this angle because this is a TN panel and this is an IPS panel. And the distinction between the two is really obvious when you look at them at an angle. There is a little bit of glare from my lights that makes the IPS harder to read than it should be, but it maintains color consistency and accuracy much better at an angle. So we are going to go ahead, and I'll fold this back down in a second, and fire up a YouTube video. We'll just bring up a video review of our NW700, which is the microphone we're using now. And I realize it does not sound as good as it should. I am still adjusting some of the sound in my studio here. The big issue with DisplayLink displays, and we're not seeing it here, which is good, and it could be that DisplayLink has updated their drivers, is when you push content over to it, like video, your CPU is working harder. In fact, I think I just heard mine spin up. Yeah, I'm looking at 70% CPU just playing video over here. Now, depending on your laptop, that might not be an issue, especially beefier systems than this Ultrabook. But if I bring that same video back over, well, it's dropped to 40%. And what is driving that is on this panel here, I can take advantage of the graphics card that's built into the CPU to decode video. I can't do that here. Anything high frame rate, video games, YouTube videos, Netflix, that kind of stuff, isn't something you're going to want to use for this panel. Spreadsheets, Word documents, general web browsing, all of that stuff is going to be beautiful here. And if you're just showing off something that you've done, photo editing, that kind of stuff, this is a great second panel.